What is up, and welcome into the Easy Smoke and the GM podcast. I'm your host, Ezra McCann, and I'm joined, as always, by my outstanding co-hosts. He's a Chicago Public League legend. He's a Simeon legend. He's a Grambling State legend. He played second base for the Tigers back in the day. He was all SWAC. He is none other than Brandon Williams, a.k.a. Coach Smoke. And we've got the NFL draft expert, enthusiast, analyst. He knows
all
all
around
things
NCAA,
Bears.
all around NCAA football guy.
I don't know. I've heard the league that you're in. They have some bones to pick with you. I don't know. I don't
Dude,
know.
that's the cross. That sounds like a
Uh,
lot of crying to me. A lot of
hey,
crying.
he is Glenn Morgan. He's our GM. And gentlemen, let's get it on right away. Um, the Bears made a decision for the next head coach. It is Ben Johnson, the former offensive coordinator of the Detroit Lions. Let's just get started. Coach Smoke, put you on the spot here. What'd you think of the hire, man?
That much.
I was shocked that it happened so quickly.
Yeah.
I'll say that. I was shocked that it happened so quickly. I'm not shocked that they got him. I mean, it speaks to the Chicago Bears of recent memory for me. Once the media gets heavily involved with the Bears in a certain decision, the Bears make that decision. So it didn't shock me that they got the guy that everyone has been saying they should get.
Can't argue with you
Um,
on that one, man.
yeah, I mean, it wasn't shocking. I've been on here saying for the longest of time, I'm just waiting for the day we make the unpopular decision. And once again, we didn't. Does that mean he's going to fail? No, that doesn't mean that. Does that mean I'm hoping for him to fail? Hell no, that doesn't mean that. I want him to succeed. Do I have my questions? Yes, I do. But at the end of the day, the Bears got the hot candidate. They got who they wanted. They didn't waste no time. They didn't beat around the bush. They made it happen. Kudos to them. Now let's see what happens from here.
GM.
That was nicely said. That was spoken as an analyst with a little bit of fan in there. Nice melding of the two. I echo a lot of what you're saying. Initially, that they got him as quickly as they did. Yes, that was a bit of a shock. Actually, I was kind of shocked that they interviewed as many people as they did. To be quite honest with you, I
Shit,
thought
they had more.
right, and they
Right?
had
They
more.
had
Right,
more.
they had more. So I thought that I'm like, okay, what are we doing here? Like, not that interviewing people is a bad or wrong thing. I'm just like, so like, what are you looking for? Like with all these different people that you're hiring, or not hiring,
Interview.
interviewing, excuse me. But then when Johnson became available, I think smoke froze.
No, I'm good. Keep going.
Okay. Then when Johnson became available, the fact that they got him, landed him, pretty much lets you know that's who they really, really wanted. Because it's like, why not finish the rest of your interviews?
Yeah.
So they met whatever parameters they had to meet as far as the Rooney Rule went and all that as well. I don't think there were any disingenuous interviews. So I'll say that. The Ben Johnson hiring.
I don't know. I don't know about that.
I'll just
Eddie
start.
George.
I'm gonna stay
Yeah.
positive. Yeah, maybe Eddie George, but I'm gonna stay
I'm not
positive.
gonna say wait. Eddie Jones may not be disingenuous. He didn't have a shot at the position, but I think both sides they had something to gain from it. So I'll,
Right.
I'll, I'll
I
tell you
think
that.
I legit think he just wanted to get
The
the interview
experience.
Yeah,
experience.
yeah, absolutely,
Right.
absolutely.
Mhm.
Right. So I'll stick with that. What I said as far as disingenuous, I believe they were pretty much everything was pretty much above board. Not, there've been a lot of other ones, not so the Bears, but NFL where there's some BS interviews. But anyway, I don't think this Bear situation was that. Again, Ben Johnson was clearly someone that they wanted. I'm curious as to why they didn't get him last year. I'm just wondering, like, if Ben really wanted to be here and the Bears, were really targeting him, and you drafted Caleb, why wouldn't you have gotten him last year? I don't know what happened last year. I don't know what Johnson was looking for. I don't know if it's because it was later in the no, because the Bears weren't in a rush because they had Eberflus in tow. It wasn't like they had an empty position. So I'm not certain why it didn't happen last year.
Right.
That being said, the weird thing to me was when Johnson walks into Hallis Hall and people stand up there and they start wooing and clapping and like, yeah, I'm thinking like, okay, I'm a little confused here. Like, has dude done something yet? Are we that geeked?
Mm-hmm.
So was Eberflus really persona non grata? Or I mean, like, what are we saying here? And then the thing that was even more funny to me was he walks in, he's like, oh, hey y'all, thanks. And then his family comes straggling in behind him. It's kind of like, oh yeah, and my family too. Yeah, my little kid and my wife. Get in here. Come on. What are you're lagging behind. It just seemed like, dude, why didn't you walk in with your family? So I don't know. Maybe he's got a heartless. Maybe this is a sure sign that he's a calculating, heartless person, and he's the leader that the Bears are looking for because he brooks no slacking. I don't know. I just thought that was kind of funny. I, I think he's a good play caller. The questions are going to be how much influence he really has with the roster going forward to help implement what he needs. Watching Get Up, and one of the few times, I shouldn't say few times, but there are times when Dan Orlovsky on ESPN, he says some things that make sense, in a lot of ways, and prescient in a way as well. And I think this being like a lot of play action in Detroit, that's strength, and it's like that Caleb is not his strength. There are times where there's play action, guys are open, and he's throwing, he's throwing in double coverage, or he's missing the throw, or it seems like he's hesitant. He's not as decisive as we've seen Jared Goff be in a simple system. Excuse me, sorry. So I'm curious to see how good. It's one thing to be a play caller, but how are you developing your quarterback and his mechanics and all those things that are going to be necessary, and how much time as a head coach can you really put into doing that, and who are you hiring as your quarterback's coach and your de facto game coordinator, if not offensive coordinator. I'm still curious to see what the fleshing out of that's going to be. And my last thing, how much of this is polls, how much this was Kevin Warren, thank you. I was going to say Kevin Hardy. I'm like, no, that's Illinois football, Jacksonville Jaguars. How much is Kevin Warren? Because it went so quickly. It does seem to be like, here's some things that weren't so classically Bear. Firing a head coach during the season, mm-hmm. and getting someone as quickly as he was gotten speaks to things that weren't quite Bear-like over the last 30 plus years. So,
and the money they're paying.
And yes, and the amount of money to pay him, and not just pay him, but if you're going to get Dennis Allen to be a defensive coordinator, you're going to have to pay him significant dollars as well. So does that mean that things aren't going to be business as usual? At least at this point, they haven't happened as usual. So that's a nice indication. I'm still have my doubts because polls are still in place. So I don't really know how much this was Kevin Warren, how much this was polls, how much is a combination of the two. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter at this point. What only matters is going forward, what kind of purposeful game plan direction, structure-wise, is this organization going to be? Like organizationally, like you can see what happened. I know I'm going on a little bit long. I apologize, but you saw what happened in Washington this year. There was a complete shift. Everything was done differently. You saw purposefulness, and a lot of things have to go right for you to have the season they have. I'm not saying that everything was just planned out that way, but they put a lot of things in place so that they could take advantage of whatever opportunities were there to be taken advantage of. Will we see something similar here in Chicago? Are we in the midst of a change with structure, and who does that really affect? And I'm optimistic. I'm cautiously optimistic. I don't know that if there was another candidate out there that I felt like we needed to have, so I'm good with it as it is now. He was the odds, the most favorite or the most highly sought after one. The only other time that I can recall the Bears doing that was Wannstedt going after the top prospect at the coaching and actually landing him. So that worked for a little bit, but organizationally, I think things failed Wannstedt and then led to his demise. Hopefully, that's not the case
Well,
here going forward.
back then, we talk about, business as usual. The Bears didn't have a GM back then. Remember
No,
that?
exactly. Ted Phillips, Plan B free agency was
And it was
new.
it was Mike McCaskey was the de facto GM
Right.
basically.
Yeah.
Um, at this point, it's not business as usual.
Right.
This is Kevin Warren's show. That's what I take from this.
Okay.
They're saying that Poles was the point guy with the interviews and everything, but I
Mhm.
I feel like Kevin Warren is the one that has empowered him, and that's why you get the it guy right away. You know, he's given the money that's needed to get the it guy.
Mhm.
I don't remember the Bears, you know, being this generous when it
First
comes to
time head
paying
coach.
coaches. Yeah, for first time head coach. Um, so that's a good thing.
With the amount of
Um,
problems we got, too. I mean,
yeah, yeah. Um, so yeah, this is a good thing. You guys, we talked last week. Me and Smoke, we were talking about Mike McCarthy. The only um, the only concern I have with Ben Johnson is that it's his first time coaching, and there's a little more to being a head coach than just being uh,
Play
the
caller.
unique play caller. Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
and
the imaginative
reiterate,
play
it's a
caller.
little more to being the Bears head coach
Yeah,
than
yeah,
just the play caller.
yeah.
That
So
that that's the thing for me. Like,
we'll see we'll see what happens. I'm happy with the hire. You went out, you got the guy you wanted. That's great. As to the process that Glenn you brought up, I had no issue with them going out and talking to all these people,
Right.
having these interviews. You talked to some interesting people on that list. David Shaw was on that list. That's different, man. He was the head coach of Stanford for a long, but is a well respected guy within
damn,
the
right.
NFL
within the
circles.
coaching circles. Yeah,
So the
NFL, right?
Rooney.
Because
Now
he
that you
coached in
think
the
about it,
NFL.
the Rooney Rule was already what's the name before
Well,
they.
no, you with the
You
Rooney
can't.
Rule, it has to be in person. So these were all Zoom
Oh, that was
interviews.
virtual. Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
okay. I thought
Um,
David Shaw was in person. Okay.
so yeah, so they talked. I think the only in person interviews were Ron Rivera, Mike McCarthy, and Eddie George.
Yeah, I
I
think.
don't. They
Yeah.
they didn't talk to Brandon. They didn't talk to Ben Johnson. I said Brandon Johnson. They didn't talk to Ben Johnson
No, in
in
person.
person until today.
Right. Right.
So that tells me that
They really
that
wanted
they
him.
were that they wanted him, but there was some back channel talk in there, throughout this process as well.
Yeah, losing early probably expedited too. I don't think they expected to lose to Washington. I don't think anybody expected them to lose to Washington. So
No,
they
but
probably.
to get the deal done that quickly.
Yeah, I think some of this goes back to last year a little bit too. I think some seed had to be planted last year. It just didn't take root. And this year, um, opportunity met the rubber of the road kind of thing. Because really, if you look at Jacksonville, I guess Trevor Lawrence could be someone that entices you. His contract is already in place, so you know what you're dealing with. There is talent there. Um, so that might have some allure. I don't think the Raiders. I think that was just used as a leverage to some degree, or I think it was just his agent kind of putting that out there. The Raiders. I mean, the quarterbacks coming out this year. I don't know that any of them are better than situated than what Caleb could be already.
Mhm.
And they got so
I
many other
agree.
issues in Las Vegas. And then they they don't that, but could they even afford him because they're still paying? I think they're still paying Gruden, right?
They paying a
Gruden
bunch
and
of
now
people.
Pierce.
Yeah,
And now
Gruden,
Pierce,
McDaniels, and Pierce.
yeah.
right? Yeah, so it's like yeah, they're going to be kind of limited with who they can afford.
By the way,
So
you saw Josh McDaniel hired by the Patriots OC for Mike
Yeah.
Vrabel. So that did happen.
yeah, so I guess going back to the well,
What did I tell you guys when Eberflus got fired?
it's going to be a DC.
Well, no. I told you guys that the Bears' job was going to be the most highly sought after job out there, and I think that came out to be true.
Yeah,
Uh,
I was wrong. I definitely said it wasn't because how dysfunctional
I
the
think
Bears
we're
have
just
been.
well. I think that we're in the Bears bubble.
Yeah,
So we
The
see all the the dysfunction and
right.
just
but the,
just
the
just
thing
how
is, I mean, from the pool of jobs though, I mean, shit, the Bears, the Raiders, the fucking Cowboys, the Jaguars, all
Jets.
our fuck the Jets, all our
yeah, the
all
Jets,
our
yeah.
all our bad organizations.
Well,
Not
when
the
Well,
you're in this
Cowboys.
situation,
You would the
that's
Cowboys
what
is
you
only
get.
bad because of
the
Jerry
owner
Jones.
Yeah.
But like,
overshadowed.
and at least he know how to monetize his foolishness.
This is
The
true.
rest of these owners don't even know how to do that. So I mean, I guess like what Glenn you like to say, the tallest short
Tall short
person.
person. Yeah, tall short person.
'Cause these are some jacked up organizations that got
Yeah, I'm
coaches.
saying that when you're in this situation, that's what that's what you're gonna get. So I say that to say that yeah, this was the best situation that was available. So this is the one you're gonna go after. And man, I mean, Lions lost Saturday night, and hey,
Still
I
that
mean
was
losing.
Monday.
done. That was done Monday.
Yeah.
So
Uh, I,
give kudos to the Bears, man. Give they got this done now, and so now it's time to get to the process of building this roster. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
well, I think skill wise, and this is excluding Keenan Allen. I don't expect him to come back, but I think they can get a slot receiver, whether they draft one or get one in free agency. I think skill wise, they can implement things that Johnson wants. It's that offensive line is going to be the key thing. They have to really, you know, rebuild in one. Really, I shouldn't say I say in 1 year, but significantly in 1 year. I don't necessarily mean it's going to be a championship line in year one, but you've got to get you if you're
I
going to spend on the
You
come
got
coach,
I think you got
spend
to
on
get at least
you
two really good free agent offensive
vets.
linemen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you gotta get in line. You gotta get pieces that can help. And his scheme should you expect that his scheme should be able to work with that.
yeah, because you look at the
You
money
can't
though.
not do nothing now, Pole. You
No,
can't
no,
expect him to come in with what we got and expect his scheme to just do everything.
no, no.
It'd just further influence my mindset that last year you thought we was a one player problem. This year you simply think we're a coach problem. So please don't prove me to be right on that. Please don't.
Yeah.
That's
Please do
real.
not. Like dog. Okay, last year you got the high commodity at QB. That's pretty much all you did. Let's not make us getting the hot commodity at coach be all we do. Simple.
And to your point, we this Johnson, and I've said this time and time again. Everyone focuses so much on the quarterback and his development. It's the whole team.
Yeah.
You've got to have other play, and that's the one thing that the last two OCs really pissed me off. It's like, dude, like, how are you not using a lot of the guys that have been drafted? Like how are these guys getting work? Like Cole Komet, how did you just stop using him? How did your one of the like top 10 tight ends in the league all of a sudden just become like the best long snapper? I mean, like what are we doing here? Tyler Scott, like the one time I saw him catch a pass, I was like, you mean he couldn't be doing that all year? He could be running those routes. Like you got all this speed, utilize it. Same thing with DJ Moore. Can you stop throwing him screens and sacrificing his body? Can you stop putting him as a halfback? Can you prolong his career by letting him be the number one receiver, or at least a one A, 1B type receiver? Um, so with Johnson, Roshan, it's like, okay, we don't have Montgomery and Gibbs,
Gibbs.
but Swift, no pun intended, is, he does have explosion, and Roshan can be a bulldozing type kind of running back. So you have those types of thunder lightning aspects in those guys. And if you get a decent line, you can do some play action. You've got 2 tight ends. I mean, you can play, 12 personnel. You can do things here. And this is where the development comes, but you've got to hire those other coaches to help implement your system, teach it, and everyone be on the same accord. Otherwise, again, it's just a lot of fancy dressing with no stuffing involved.
Well, it looks like he's going out to get some good coaches on the staff. Dennis Allen, former head coach in the league, looks like he's going to be the
Yeah.
DC.
Damn fool.
Hank Fraley's coming in
Personality, at least.
as I guess as his OC.
Say that again.
Hank Fraley
What was the
from
last one you said?
what's that?
I think okay.
Oh, okay. I said Hank Fraley is going to come in as OC. It looks like Detroit's offensive line coach. And it looks like Detroit's entire staff is going to get raided because Aaron Glenn is going to the
Yeah.
Jets. So
Yeah.
that's man.
Yeah,
So
that's funny. For the
Sucks.
Detroit's getting raided. Think about that for a
doesn't
second.
happen very often. Does
That's
not
That's-
happen.
But that's what you run into when you start to
Monica
win.
success.
When you start to win, that's what you
Yeah.
run into. I mean, if he do turn it around for us, those guys will. Dennis Allen's a good one because he might not get another opportunity as the head coach. So
Right. I was thinking Robert
Well,
Saleh
you know
would have
what?
been
You know what? But if you want, hey, make this defense a top 5 defense again.
man,
And
ain't
you'll get
nobody,
that shot.
ain't nobody trying to deal with Dennis Allen's crazy ass.
but that could benefit us. Like Spagnuolo has stayed in Kansas City mainly because
Right.
he just doesn't
Mhm.
want to, and he's been a former head coach, and that's probably not happening for him again. So it's like,
Right.
man, I'll be the best, DC, and I'll go to the Hall of
Yep.
Fame as a DC or whatever, go all these championships. So we potentially the Bears could have a situation where they don't have to worry about replacing the OC slash DC because those guys, will stay. And not that, but you get the experience of a former head coach. Hey, these are the things that didn't work for me.
Right.
Or these are things that I did well and blah blah blah. So although to your point, Johnson's not a head coach, he does have a former head coach, 2-time head coach because I think he was head coach he was maybe an interim for the Raiders for a while, and then here with the Saints for the last couple of years.
Right.
And he's been a long time NFL assistant.
And a long time DC. I think he was DC
Right.
in New Orleans for 6-7
wow.
years.
Exactly.
So yeah. Looks like a good hire. So he'll as we talk, he'll be introduced officially tomorrow, and we'll see if he can win the press conference. We'll
Well,
talk about that.
It wasn't a House
Next
Hall
week.
Appearance award. He just walked in,
Right.
and then people start whoop whoop. I mean, were those plants? Were they there? Was there a
Look.
sign flashing, like screaming? Did Kevin Warren
Right,
say
or
when he gets in there,
the organization is excited. That's what they do every morning.
was that genuine?
Yeah, every time you walk in there, you get applause.
Oh, okay.
You've been up there before.
You for real? You
No.
bullshit.
Whose
about to
daytime
say.
show is it where they dance in the hallway before they come out in the show? Is that
Jennifer
the-
Hudson.
Jennifer Hudson?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what that was equivalent of. He came in there doing it. It's like, oh yeah, get it, go.
Hey, fellas, we're gonna make this quick, so let's go to picks real quick. Good week for everybody. Glenn, you went 2-1. I went 2-1 and Smoke. Perfect 3-0.
So,
Perfect 3-0. So I am right now the lead dog at 29, 16, and 3. Smoke, you're in second right now, just one game back. 28, 18, and 2. And Glenn, you are bringing up the
Back to
rear,
five.
but
Back to
you got a couple more weeks to go.
Back
I
to
don't-
500.
We'll see. No, you're over 500. You're 23, 21, and 1.
So that's what I'm talking about, man. Fighters fight, man.
Ken Davis was on last week. I don't want to throw out what his record
he
was
got
last
to. He
week.
was on.
Yeah, man.
Ken, sorry, buddy. 0-4.
Yes.
His picks last week. Sorry about that, Ken. Sorry about that. But thank you for being a wonderful guest on the show. So let's start off with Glenn. Who you got?
I'm all over +6, which means it's probably
We
not
just
going to
doing
happen.
them too.
Actually, I think we need to just do 2. Yeah. So
Yeah.
just the championship games.
We could do over and under.
What do you want to do?
I'm saying we can do that. You can any combination of the wins and over and under.
Okay, we can do that.
Yeah, this is the spread and there's the over and under. It's the money line. Don't wimp out. You want to keep
That's
it
fine.
straight.
That's fine. I want to keep it easy, but that's no worries.
I'm gonna go Commanders +6, and I'm going to go Chiefs -2. I think they'll win by a field goal. I'm trying to find an over and under total.
Top hit total. Yeah.
I'm going to go under with the Bills and Chiefs. It's 47.5. I'm going to go under. I think it's going to be like 43, 44 points, something like that, like 24-21, something like that. 23-20. So, Bills and Chiefs.
How do you find the under picks?
Go to total. Like it starts off with spread. Right next to it says total.
On this page? Wait a minute. On what page?
It's like at the top.
It's where it says conference champs.
I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. Okay, here we go. All right. Look at that. I learned something new today. You said the under 47.5.
Yeah. Both games are 47.5.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Smoke, who you got?
I'm going Washington +6 as well. And I'm going to take the over in that game and Chiefs -2.
Okay.
And over 47.5. And Chiefs -2. All right. In Kansas City. I am going to take I'm gonna take the Commanders plus the
Everybody's fell in love with the Commanders, man. That's one of the best stories this year, man.
I am going to take the over in that game. And I'm going to take the Bills.
What? The win outright, huh?
Take the Bills plus the
two
plus
points.
The 2. Yeah.
So they win what? 34-33. Pick a last second field goal.
I think they bring it to Kansas City.
Okay.
Over 47.5, and I said the Bills plus the 2. All right. Let's see what happens championship week. That'll do it for this week's edition of the Easy Smoke and the GM podcast. I want to thank everyone for listening. We greatly appreciate it. You can catch our podcast at Apple Podcasts, Google, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon, or wherever you find your favorite podcast. You can also catch us on YouTube at the HP53 Productions YouTube page. Just search for HP53 Productions, and you will find all of our podcast videos there. You can also catch us at hp53productions.com. There you'll find a link to our podcast and the Super Duper podcast hosted by Rob Griggs. Yo, Glenn.
Yep.
Please take us out.
Hey, just want to throw a shout out. Congratulations to the other professional football team, the Ohio State Buckeyes, for the national championship. All of those players you will see next year on Sunday. Damn near a whole bunch of mercenaries. That was a well bought, put together. Now, actually, you know what? A lot of those guys were already on the team, so I'm just tripping. But again, nonetheless, congratulations.
You got to keep them there.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Congratulations, nonetheless, Ohio State. And also Notre Dame for getting there. I mean, after losing to Northern Illinois at home, there's no way in hell you could have told me they were going to be in the national championship game.
Congratulations to Northern Illinois, too. That's a big accomplishment, man.
Yes. Yeah. Other than that, Caps.
Yeah.
But to your point,
the runner-up.
Yeah, no doubt. They've got that. You can't take that from them.
Yeah.
With that being said, it's like we always say here at Easy Smoking the GM, the podcast. Hey, we ain't saying we're right. We just hope the Bears aren't wrong.
Bear down. I'm happy to go.